Here we go. Executive producer Brian Minchin, and executive producer Stephen Moffat, Matt Lucas, new companion Pearl Mackie, ladies and gentlemen, Pearl Mackie. And please may he be here, Peter Capaldi. You've been filming the new season with some new characters, or newish characters in the case of Matt. Brian and Stephen, maybe we could start by you talking about about the new characters, about the new cast members, about how they got involved.
Well, as you know, Matt was in Last Christmas, not actually the episode called Last Christmas, confusingly enough. The Christmas we put on last Christmas, oh, never mind. Here's my role. Just as I was sort of discussing with Brian, that it would be great if the Doctor, particularly Peter's Doctor, had some sort of valet or butler who wouldn't be very obedient or polite. Matt Lucas was saying that he'd really like to come back in the show, which we were astonished by, because Matt's got a huge career. He's fantastically famous and beloved.
Had a huge career.
We have taken care of that now, but yes, but at that stage it was still going well. So I phoned up Matt in LA. And we discussed, how many episodes it could be in, and he just kept volunteering to do more. So I said, okay, this huge, enormous star is volunteering to be in our show. Let's go with that. And it's working, I think, better than we could have expected. I think Matt's version of Nardole is actually quite different this time. Last time he was sort of a little comedy duffer. This time there's a lot of layers to him. He's even a little bit sinister at times, which is really fascinating. And of course we have the wonderful Pearl Mackie, who you won't see at Christmas, but who starts her journey with the Doctor at the beginning of next series in a way that will be quite surprising and remain surprising to you, because I'm not going to tell you what it is or how they meet or anything about it. You've seen the you'll be disappointed then, it's ages. You will discover how she meets the Doctor and how their relationship develops when the show comes back. But I think I can promise you it's really quite different.
And Peter, it is all change. I mean, obviously not with your good self, thankfully. But what's it like, now that the TARDIS has slightly different staff members?
It's great. It's quite strange because I sort of think of myself as the new Doctor Who. I'm shocked to find myself in my third year. So to have somebody new come along, in this case, Pearl, and someone who doesn't know where the canteen is or where the trailers are or any of that stuff, and who any of these 250 people are who are standing around looking at us every day as we go to work. It was quite nice to be able to introduce her to that, and she has arrived and brought a great kind of energy and vigor and talent to the show. The great thing about Bill and Pearl playing Bill is that she comes from the real world. That's not to say that we don't all live in the real world, but I mean, she doesn't come from the world of Doctor Who. So she has to be introduced to that world. And that refreshes and reinvigorates the whole thing.
And Pearl, what was the audition process like?
Oh, the audition process was it was pretty mad, actually. First of all, my agent called and did an availability check for something called Meantown, which is an anagram of Woman 10, who is the 10th companion, who's me. So at the time, when they first recommended me for the job, they didn't know that it was to be the Doctor Who companion. And then my agent calls and is like, oh yeah, actually that thing we put you up for is to be the next companion in Doctor Who. And I'm like, okay, I'm never going to get that, am I? But yeah, cool, all right, I'll give it a go. And when I got Stephen's scripts through for the audition, I was like, I think I know this girl, actually. I was like, she's cool. I mean, Stephen's incredible. The character that he'd written was amazing. But I was like, I think I get her. She was pretty fully formed when I read the paper. I mean, I don't know if that's just, you know, the way I connected with her as an actress, but yeah. So I mean, so I went in for the first time to read with Andy Price's assistant, Andy Price, the casting director, and it was just us over a table reading to a camera. And the next round, after about a week and a half, and I thought, I didn't get the job. After about a week and a half in TV, if you haven't got a call, you haven't got it. So after a week and a half, I got this phone call saying, oh, you've got a recall. It's in the Soho Hotel. You're going to be meeting Brian Minchin, Stephen Moffat, Andy Pryor, and his assistant, and you're going to be reading with Peter Capaldi. And I was like, okay, all right, let's go. So I rock up in in a baggy t-shirt and a pair of jeans and a massive afro, these yellow trainers. I walk in and I'm like, oh, this is nice, man. Wow. And met Peter and everyone's so lovely. As soon as I walked in, it was great. You know, Peter was wonderful, and it was so nice to read with you, because I'd only read with myself before. So it was so nice to have you really there. It was wonderful. But no, it was great. There was a great kind of sort of back and forth between the characters. The way Stephen's written it is great. There's a wonderful dynamic between them. But then there's this one scene that we read, that's the scene that Bill first goes into the TARDIS, and Peter's like, do you want to stand up? And I was like, okay, this is mad, all right. So we stand up and Peter's like running around back and forth, pressing all these like imaginary buttons, you know, because it's the TARDIS and he knows where everything is. And I'm just standing there like, this is the maddest thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know what is going on here. I mean, luckily the character's supposed to be thinking that too, otherwise it could have gone in a very, very different direction.
You know, when I was young, they used to always show on Christmas Day in Britain, they'd show a special movie. And my most favourite one would be when they played the Christopher Reeve Superman movie. That very first one, when I had such a great feel about it, great irony, clever, funny, witty, tongue-in-cheek. And I think that's what we've sort of made here, is a new, ironic, good-hearted superhero movie, which hopefully I want to repeat every year, as long as I get a cut of it.
And Stephen, what was your thinking when you sat down to create this year?
I was obsessed with superheroes when I was a kid because, and mainly what I liked was Superman. And mainly what I liked about Superman was Clark Kent. Clark Kent is awesome. He's amazing. He goes around pretending he's not a god and not revealing to the woman he loves that he is the man she's in love with for her own protection. It's the best love story ever told. I love that. It's a love triangle with two people in it. I've always wanted to write that story. I've always loved Clark Kent. Clark Kent is the best hero ever. Every hero since then has been dispensable, apart from Doctor Who and Sherlock Holmes, he said, remembering
Wait, Sherlock what now?
Sorry?
What's that?
Sherlock Holmes.
I don't know.
He's a popular detective.
Would you mind just saying how your love of superheroes expressed itself when you were a child?
Oh, yes, well, it is little known part of my history, but I was a superhero for most of an afternoon. I became so obsessed with superheroes, and Clark Kent in particular, I realised I was mild-mannered, shy and useless, and therefore my alter ego must be awesome, going on the Clark Kent principle, so I became Red Rat. I made my own costume, which all superheroes have to do, but they always cut past that bit because it doesn't look so macho. I had a sort of a rat mask and a cowboy hat, and I turned my Batman cape the other way round, because otherwise I didn't want it wrongly branded at that early stage. And at the age of 6, I walked around Paisley looking for crime. But I never really had much of a plan, as I realised as I walked around, what I would do if I encountered crime. And I started to realise that criminals confronted by me might think I was just a strangely dressed small boy, and might not fall aside and asunder in terror at my appearance. So I thought, I think I'm going to give this up. I've patrolled Paisley for, an hour. That's enough. That's the battle is over now. I walked back to my house, but my friends were all there. And I thought, well, that's okay, at least I'm in disguise, they won't know it's me. And from the other end of the street, they looked over and said, oh, hello, Stephen. And I thought, oh, this does not happen to Bruce Wayne. So I had to walk over and pretend I wasn't Stephen, which didn't work, strangely enough. They said, oh, yeah, it's you, that's your cowboy hat, that's your face and voice, and you're about to walk back to your house. Which revealed to me the main problem with superheroes. How do they get home? How do they do that? It's never explained, is it? But anyway, that is my career as Red Rat, which I may resume at any time.
You were just delighted and tickled pink to be playing the Doctor, and I'm aware that you're a fan of the show since you were a kid. And is that, do you still feel like that?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's an extraordinary privilege to be in this job that is just like playing. And to have these wonderful actors. Pearl has come along and with an absolutely individual take on the companion's role, which is exciting to go into work every day and see what's going to unfold. And Matt has been extraordinary. He's brought a strange and rather delicate alienness to the show, which I don't know whether or not he set out to do that. Clearly he's, a comic genius who we're all in great awe of. But to see him come along and come into the show, I saw some pictures of us together, the three of us. And I thought, oh, I really want to watch that show. That really looks great, with that girl there with all that going on, and that guy there with all that going on, and that old guy with the grey hair in the middle. But I thought, yeah, it's wonderful because it's constantly new, and what Brian and Stephen are doing is never resting, never letting it. None of us ever go in and say, we all are feel very lucky to be there, but no one ever takes it easy. No one ever takes it for granted. It's hard to be in Doctor Who, but wonderful too.
You also have a tidy little directing career, and I was wondering if you have interest in directing episodes in the Whoniverse.
No.
He's gone a bit 12th Doctor, hasn't he? In fairness, Peter does have a massive full-time job on the show. No one could direct an episode of Doctor Who and be in it. It just wouldn't be physically possible. Otherwise, maybe once he's left, he could come back and do one, but he couldn't do one now. You just couldn't. We work our directors to death.
It's too hard. I think the directors are amazing, and I look at them with awe and great delight that I'm not standing in their shoes.
And you are the only Oscar-winning director who's ever been on that set.
And they do a fabulous job, and I want a quieter life than that.